All right, race fans, welcome back for another exciting season of Flat Track Canada racing. Our first race is going to kick off round one here in Paris for the half mile, and we're going to bring you all the action. But first, let's take a quick look around the pits and see who's here.
Here at the Paris half mile. I thought I was coming to the beach, but apparently it's Paris half mile. Just gonna ride some dirt track, have some fun. Today I'll be in the open expert class. Unfortunately, Kawasaki Ninja 650 was not available for today, but we got my Claire Cycle and Sports Honda 450 framer here. Just here for some tea time. I got a pro national in the States next week, Springfield, Illinois. And just want to get comfortable on a motorcycle, that's all. You know what, Aaron's, he's stepped up a lot this year. A lot of big sponsors coming on board. Bigger schedule, a lot more tracks. Would have been nice to see some clay tracks in there, but nothing wrong with a little bit of Canadian cushion. But man, this is gonna be a good series, good for flat track, good for the sport. You know what, I got so many people to thank, and if I forget you, I'm sorry, but my mom, my dad, my sisters, my family really backing me this year, even though they really want me to move away from this, but thank you very much. Claire Cycle and Sports in Fenwick, Ontario came on board this year, gave me an opportunity, and I very much appreciate that. I gotta thank Luzak Racing, I gotta thank Trax Racing, I love you guys. Saddlemen, Spider Grips, Vortex, the folks at American Super Camp for helping me out, Danny Walker, Austin Luzak, all you guys, thank you very, very much. Harrington Heating and Cooling, Platinum Auto Body, Light Shoe, and if I forgot, guys, I'm sorry, there's so many people. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's going to do it for the morning practice here at Paris, but we're going to bring you a little special feature here that we like to call the Outlaw Productions Hot Lap. Now we're on board with the number 19 of Brandon Seguin out here today on his J&M framer. Brandon's been working that outside line a little bit, as you can see with the GoPro footage that we received from him from the morning practice session. This track's getting rough already, and it's probably going to get a little bit worse throughout the day, but we're going to do our best with the track grooming, get some water down on the track, but really just enjoy a full day of racing. But as Brandon starts to make his way around corner 3 and 4 here, you can actually see there's Lenny Monroe running on the inside there. He's going to make a quick little pass out here on the outside, and as Brandon comes around to the finish line, he's going to be running a 24:04. But while we wait for the opening ceremonies, we're going to catch up with the X Games competitor, Doug Lawrence.
My name's Doug Lawrence. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. Out here at round 1, Paris Fairgrounds out in the half mile. Riding the big iron today. So just trying to get things underway at the start of the year.
So tell us, how is your racing going today?
So far so good. I mean, the track's pretty rough, pretty demanding. You kind of got to leave your brain in the toolbox and go out there and try and race. So just trying. It's gonna be, it's gonna be demanding too. It's also a pretty tiring racetrack. So gonna have to get a start and try and gap the other guys, and then see where that takes us. X Games should be pretty sweet. It's kind of cool. I appreciate everyone saying all the kind words about me getting invited and stuff. I haven't been able to get back to everyone, but thank you guys. I appreciate it a lot, and try and bring back some hardware to flat track here in Canada. So that should be fun. And in Canada here, the boys at Town Moto helped me out a lot. Andrew, Marika, thank you guys very much. Have stepped up. They're not only big supporters of mine, they're big supporters of the Flat Track Canada series. So John Briggs Motorsports, CD Boots, Greedy Racing Leathers, Rye Helmets, Klotz Lubricants, Motion Pro, Vortex, K&N. Thank you guys very much.
Right now we're going to do a quick short interview with a few of our racers here today.
During the opening ceremonies, before we get into our main events, we introduce a couple of the riders from the different classes, like the number 67 of Jarrett Bellamy in the novice division. The number 26 is Steve Beattie riding the KBR 450 framer machine, and not his Harley Davidson like he won on last year. And then last but not least here, Doug Lawrence, also in the expert class. But riding an intermediate and making his debut to Flat Track Canada Racing is this CSBK rider.
My name's Trevor Daly. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. I'm here running the opening round of the Flat Track Canada race on my Parts Canada CRF. Having a great time. I'm looking forward to putting on a good show for the fans.
Okay, Trevor, this is your first time doing a half mile on a flat track bike. So what do you think about it?
You know what? I didn't really have any set expectations, but I'm having a great time. It's a lot of fun. Learning a lot out there. Every lap getting a little bit quicker, and looking forward to the race.
Right on. Okay, well, who do you want to thank for getting you out here today?
I want to thank Parts Canada and Flat Track Canada for inviting me, for sure. Parts Canada, Alpine Star, HJC Helmets, Rockstar Energy, for helping me be here today, keeping me safe on track, and making me fast. So I'd like to thank all the fans also for coming out and helping make this a great event.
Okay, so as the DTX expert class makes their way out to the track, we got 7 riders like Rob Pearson, Justin Jones, and Tyler Seguin in the mix here. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you all the highlights from the racing here today. Okay, we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to jump right into this race. As you can see, Caitlin going across, giving everyone their card, letting them know how many laps that we're running here today. Tyler Seguin out on the outside there. Robin Pearson on the inside of him. Justin Jones the inside of him. Lenny Monroe on the inside of him. And then in that first gate spot, looks like Sean Hoy. But as you can see on the lap 1, as we come around here, Rob Pearson's got a little bit of a lead over Tyler Seguin, Justin Jones, and Dave Pouliot, who's making his first debut expert race here at the round 1 Paris half mile. As we get into lap 4, you can see that Rob Pearson's starting to check out a little bit away from Tyler Seguin and Justin Jones. Justin Jones is right behind him, though, and Dave Pouliot not too far off pace as well. Lap 5, Pearson goes flying by. Justin Jones makes his way around Tyler Seguin, and Pouliot still a little bit ways back, but he's still holding his ground. Now you can see these guys going by the camera. You can hear the bikes. If you pay attention right here, That's how fast these guys are going. So that was Justin Jones, Tyler Seguin, and then Dave Pouliot. So that's our first, second, third, and fourth place guys. The rest of the pack, they have drifted back a little bit more, but you can see that's our last place rider coming around there. Rob Pearson right behind him. And you can see the rest of the field is starting to funnel in there. There goes Justin Jones, and here comes Tyler Seguin, and then Dave Pouliot. So the whole field, the whole crowd is spaced out a bit here, but it's going to be Robbie Pearson that's taking home the win here in the DTX class today, followed up by the Justin Jones 19B, and then the 22 of Tyler Seguin. And as we kick off this DTX intermediate class, we got 10 riders in the field here. We got the number 74 of Justin Crum. We got the number 49 of Brody Buchan. We got the number 16 of Trevor Daly. We got the number 58 of Mark Strudevin. He's an American rider who's made his way up here to Flat Track Canada. We got the number 6 of Dustin Lambert, the number 60 of Christy Dooley, myself on the orange wheels there, number 69 of Kyle Shepard. We got Thomas Cassis in the 88 making his debut, and Braden Valley on a backup bike starting from the third row, already making his way up to the front of the pack as he comes out of the first corner there. You can see Brody Buchan's GoPro on that rear fender facing backwards. Justin Crum not too far off his pace, maybe about 10 bike lengths, so Brody's going to throw it into this first corner here. Now you're still going to get a sense of how rough this track is getting. You're going to see this bike bounce around a lot. The rest of the field slowly just drifting back, so we're going to just show you all the highlights here. We figured we'd give you one lap with Brody just to show you what the track's like. And you can see it was Brody Buchan going by, Justin Crum, Braden Valley, Trevor Daly, Dustin Lambert, myself, Mark, Christy, and Thomas. Now as the laps get going on here a little bit more and more, Brody Buchan seems to be making a bigger gap. Trevor Daly cutting down on the inside there, kicking up a little bit of dust on the inside. Dustin Lambert also squaring up on the inside there too. But as we make our way into lap 5, corner 2, Trevor Daly loses his traction, spins the bike out, but gets back up and continues racing. Brody Buchan has just now stretched his gap out. He's got a commanding lead over Braden Valley, who's made a third row restart on a backup bike and just completely passed everybody on the outside, held his ground, got by Crummer, and that's pretty much where he's probably going to stay for the rest of this race as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes. Now, Brody Buchan's made his way by here on the finish line. You got Braden Valley, Justin Crum, and as the rest of the field starts making their way back down and around, Brody Buchan's already on the back straight, so you're going to see the rest of this field kind of wither out. You're going to see everyone come by, all the last place riders. Trevor Daly, who picked himself back up and kept going. This is Brody Buchan coming back around. So he's probably running a 25, 26 second lap time, not too far off pace from the pros. So Brody Buchan's going to take the win here today in the DTX intermediate class, followed by Braden Valley and Justin Crum. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be jumping into the open intermediate race with 13 different riders. Okay, so heading right into the action of our second last race of the day, we're going to hop on board with Brody Buchan here, right off the line for our open intermediate. And Buchan seems to be having some problems going on here, going into the first corner. Everyone's kind of taking off a bit. I strapped on a GoPro as well to give you a different angle, and Buchan still seems to be having some trouble here as he comes out of corner 2. The rest of the field's already onto the back straightaway and starting to take off here. Not too sure what's going on. You can see him. He's down there. He's kicking at the shifter. The shifter seems to be bent, so that's what's causing Brody his problems, and that's what's going to take him out of the race here. And you can see Justin Crum, Braden Valley, Rob Churchill, Matt Sale, and Dustin Lambert leading the pack. They're all kind of jostling up there for the first spot. Lap 2, we kind of come around here. You can see the track still rough. Alex Olson makes a great pass between myself and the number 9 of Kevin Lambert. And as we come around for lap 4 here, Justin Crum, Braden Valley still battling for that first spot. Battle for second or third, I guess you could say, was a 3-way split still. But as we continue on here, lap 7, you can see everything's starting to space out a little bit, and we're going to wind it down here. There's not too much more action going on. You can see Trevor Daly still doing a great job up there. He's ahead of Dustin Lambert, and you know, for Trevor coming out for his first time, the CSBK rider, he's doing a great job. So our final lap, coming down the final front straightaway there, and pretty much how the finishing order is going to be. It's going to be Braden Valley, Justin Crum, and Matt Sale, the number 75 Honda Framer, that's going to seal up the deal here for the open intermediate class. So just one final shot coming down the straightaway here, and it's time to go to a commercial break. So before we get into our Open Expert final here, we got the walkout, which all the riders are going to be introduced to the crowd. We got the number 27 machine of Rob Pearson, the 22, the KBR machine of Tyler Seguin. And you can see Dougie Lawrence getting fired up here, hopping on his bike in the fresh-looking Town Moto gear. Always looks great. If anyone's seen on any Sunday, the next chapter, you will see Doug in that shot during the flat track part. Tyler Seguin getting a little focused in here. A little bit of good luck there going. So Open Expert, 12 riders. We're going to do 15 laps here. And you can see our GoPro is just sitting down here on the starting line. Get a nice close-up shot. Everyone just drives off the line super hard. So heading down into our first corner here. Riders come around, and it's going to be Rob Pearson that's out ahead. But we're going to be coming under our red flag here, because in corner 3, Brandon Seguin got caught up into Dave Pouliot's bike. And what this causes is him to get ejected off the bike. So you can see that was Brandon up there in the white suit. Looked like a little marshmallow flying through the air. But Brandon actually walked away from this. His framer, unfortunately, did not. It got snapped in half. But of course, being very lucky crashing at that kind of high speed. A couple of the other riders got tangled up there, but they get back out for the restart here. They start on the back line. So it's going to be a complete restart as the riders here get their lap sequence from Caitlin. So we're going to go green with 15 laps here, and off the line. Doug Lawrence gets a little bit of wheelie going on there, gets over into Chris Evans a bit and drifts back. But Rob Pearson leads the pack with Steve Beattie and Chris Evans right behind him. You can see Tyler Seguin and Justin Jones and Doug Lawrence there. They're kind of battling it out a bit. Rob Pearson just doing crazy work on that KTM 990. This guy had a monster of a motor, and you can see the drive that they got going down these straightaways with these big bikes. Now, Steve Beattie's riding a 450 KBR framer, so this thing is tuned out to the nines. KBR produces some of the best stuff for Honda and around the Hamilton area. They race down at Welland quite a bit for the CMA, and you're going to be seeing a lot of the KBR action coming up here. But you're going to see Doug Lawrence going up by here by Justin Jones, the 19B rider from the States. Kind of loses a little bit of an edge there, falls back a bit. Justin makes a little bit of work on the outside line there, gets going back again, but you'll see the pull that these big bikes got over these DTX bikes. Doug just reels them right back in on the old big iron bike there. So Rob Pearson leading the pack, still coming around, but it's Chris Evans and Steve Beattie battling. And right behind them, it's still Justin Jones and Doug Lawrence, and Tyler Seguin not too far off pace there too. So Doug getting a great drive down this front straightaway again. Heading right back into the back to the corner 3, Rob Pearson's, Steve Beattie, Chris Evans, Doug Lawrence, Justin Jones, and Tyler Seguin. But coming around for lap 5, you can see Rob Pearson's has got a commanding lead going over these guys right now. Steve Beattie's doing everything he can to work that bike. He's driving it up high and then shooting down low, getting a sweet little drive going down this back straightaway because he knows he's a little bit underpowered, so he can work that bike a lot more in the corners because it's lighter, but you can see Chris Evans just starts reeling them back in every single time that they come down these straightaways. So he's got to work that to his advantage and get that little bike turned around and getting on the throttle hard and getting out and getting a good drive. He's getting right down in that tuck. Steve Beatty's doing a great job in this race. Overpowered, but you know, the guy's just an animal when he gets out on the track. He came out to 4 nationals last year, won every single one of them. So you can see Beatty getting a strong drive out here on the inside of Rob Pearson, but Pearson starts to pull away on that back straightaway. Chris Evans isn't too far off pace. He's a little bit out of the shot here, but you know he's coming in hard and hot to these corners. So you can see the leaders coming around. Now Doug Lawrence seems to be making up a little bit of ground. Justin Jones has fallen off the pace a little bit. Steve Beatty still doing a great job, but Chris Evans is coming up out of nowhere right now. And, you know, he's driving that big Harley Davidson into the corners real hard. He's going to square it up here. You can see Beatty's going to try and go down on the inside. Chris Evans shuts the door on him, says, no, you are not going by. Chris Evans drops the hammer and gets going because he knows he's got to catch Rob Pearson, and he's running out of time to do so. So the top 3, this is going to be one of the best races of the season, hands down, with all these big bikes out on this half-mile track. Now Chris Evans, he starts to drive it into the inside. Now he normally kind of comes in middle and then goes to the outside, gets a strong drive out of the corner, but you can see Chris Evans just finding the wicked line going here, tucks in behind Pearson, dives it on the inside of him. So now we got a lead change here. We got Chris Evans out front, Rob Pearson and Steve Beatty. Now those two make a little bit of contact coming out of corner 4, so Chris Evans is probably getting a little bit angry right now. He's going to drive it right back in, show him the front wheel of the bike on the inside, maybe push him out a bit. And you can see Pearson's just doing a great job here, but Evans is just finding all the traction in the world, getting a strong drive. Now these two bikes are pretty matched up, and you can see Evans is just driving into the corner that much harder. Steve Beatty's still hanging on there, and Doug Lawrence is making ground on these guys. So coming into our final 5 laps here, you're going to start to see a bit of a battle forming between these top 4 riders, because Doug, he's just kind of starting to come out of nowhere. It looked like he lost a little bit of ground there, but Doug makes up short work of this, and he's a strong finisher. He always makes a triumphant comeback at the end of any race if you've ever watched Doug before. So it should be interesting to see what he does at X Games even too, because you know he's going to be putting it out on the line there for all the Canadians. So everything's still kind of holding down here. We got 3 laps to go after this. Steve Beatty and Rob Pearson's, they're still battling it out. Doug Lawrence isn't too far off, so you know he's coming up here. It's just starting to come into the frame, so Beatty's got to watch out for Lawrence, and so does Pearson, but Beatty drives on the inside line of Pearson and gets ahead of him. Pearson starts to reel him back in, so Steve's got to drive hard out of this corner if he wants to hold on to that second place spot. Now with only 2 laps to go, you can see the second place riders here kind of all mixed up here. I mean, it's anyone's game. Steve Beatty's driving on the outside. Doug Lawrence seems to go by. Beatty drops back on the inside. Rob Pearson loses some traction, but these guys are shooting back down the straightaway there in the back, and Pearson reels Beatty in, but Doug Lawrence gets a strong drive and starts to get ahead. So you know he's got his target set on the back of Chris Evans. Evans is way ahead, seems to be relaxing just a little bit too much, but hey Evans, you still got a couple more laps to go here, bud. Final lap, Chris Evans makes his way down this front straightaway. Got a commanding lead over Doug Lawrence. Doug's got to just go, go, go. Steve Beatty not too far behind him, but it's not enough as Chris Evans does take the checkered flag, followed closely by Doug Lawrence. And then Rob Pearson's in third. Steve Beatty not too far off as well. So we're going to go down to the podium and talk to the riders.
Okay, so Chris Evans, you won the Open Expert race here today. Talk a little bit about that. How was the track going for you?
Well, the track went really smooth all day long. Unfortunately, we didn't get any rain, so we're kind of chasing the water situation all day. So it was a little rough and a little dry, but it's the same for everybody.
So you guys were battling, you know, the 3 of you, nice and tight. You got a little bit loose, but you made up for it and you got ahead. Once you got that comfortable lead, how did it feel?
Just hanging on, man, and hoping I didn't end up on the ground. That's the honest truth.
All right, who are the people you want to thank here today for that?
What's that? Oh, my dad, my buddy Paulie, who go to all the races with me, and American Harley Davidson, and Brian Olsen Racing, who's given me a lot of help this year.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Dougie, you finished second. Not the greatest start, you noticed, but you made your way back up to the pack. What was it like watching everyone battle up top? And what was your plan when you were seeing that?
My plan was quite different. My plan was to just try and get a good start and piece together some good laps and try to stay out of the spray and stay smooth because I knew the race was going to break apart. I got caught in a rut here off the start and I kind of ran into Chris, and it took me a while to get my ducks in a row. And the first couple laps I was just using tear off, like 2 tear offs every straightaway, and I knew I was running out of tear off. So hats off to Chris, man. His first lap of practice, he was quick, and me and Rob raced a lot together down in the States, and very cool for Waters Auto Body team and Rob to be up here racing the Flat Track Canada series. So thank you to the Hesmers, Flat Track Canada, once again all his volunteers, my sponsors, Town Moto, lots of the guys were here today, and girls, Arai, CD Boots, American Harley Davidson, Klotz Synthetics, CBC Communications. I think that's it.
How did you find the track today, throughout the whole day, right to the main?
I liked it. You know, I don't race as many of the cushion half miles as I'd like to, but it's definitely fun. It's fun being able to go up when we want and put on a show like that. The KTM was super fast today as the track got a little more technical and rough. In the main event, I kind of struggled finding a good line, and then on top of that, I had these guys racing right on top of me. So we had fun, and like I said, we came here to put laps on this thing and make sure it was good for next weekend, and we did that. So it's a good weekend.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this. What kind of machine is it that you're on here today?
It's Waters Auto Body KTM 990 Super Duke. So she's got massive horsepower, and we're actually getting it to work better every day. So I'm excited next weekend we'll get to take it out on a big track and play with it and hopefully have some good results.
Right on. Well, do you see yourself coming back for more Flat Track Canada?
Yeah. The Waters, they're only in Buffalo, so they're not too far. It was a little bit of a trip for me, but for tracks like this, I'd definitely be back.
Right on. Okay, well, we appreciate it very much, and safe trip home.
All right, thank you.